Check out the new digs, everybody.
Oh, I just figured that since everyone's like, oh, who's going to be the Joe Rogan of the left, that I just put the word experience after our show and we can fill the space.
That's perfect.
If media is writing about this, they have to say that we are the self-described Joe Rogan of the left.
The president-elect has invited Xi Jinping of China to witness his inauguration. This is a power move.
What a flex. Invite this guy to a party.
If he declines, it's disrespectful. And if he accepts, he'll be forced to observe President Trump at his most powerful moment.
His most powerful moment, fucking up words in a teleprompter.
It took over the airports.
You put Xi Jinping in a subservient position. Plus, you can spy on him the whole time he's in D.C.
Trump's inviting Xi Jinping to his party. Let's invite John Hodgman to ours.
Oh, yes.
And then we can spy on him.
The whole time.
And if he says no, it'll be disrespect. Wait, no, he's already said yes.
Gleep, get John Hodgman on this show.
Alienating.
Oh, finally!
Great podcast, everybody.
Let me ask you about RFK Jr.
You know what RFK Jr.'s promise is to the nation. Who was it who said a chicken in every pot? Who was that, Herbert Hoover?
That's FDR.
I don't remember who it was who said that. But I'll tell you, RFK Jr.'s motto, a raptor on every arm. I don't think there's ever been a cabinet secretary or a high-level member of any administration who's as good as falconry as RFK Jr.
He's the best.
I dislike him for a lot of reasons, but I love his commitment to falconry.
A raptor on every arm.
On every wrist.
And a worm in every brain.
Oh, there we go.
A bear in every trunk.
I'm sorry, I interrupted this wonderful clip.
Do you want to see childhood vaccines eliminated?
If they're dangerous for the children.
What if they're not?
So possibly?
So possibly? Can I get a headline out of this?
Yeah, these are the same questions they've been asking him for months.
I'm going to sign an executive order to only make good vaccines.
I'm going to kidnap a bunch of children and bring them to a mountain lair, and I'm going to inject them with everything I can find. Well, I'm not going to do it. Bobby's going to do it. He's been really eager to do this for a long time.
If you take a look at autism, you go back 25 years, autism was almost non-existent. It was, 1 out of 100,000.
Yeah, you go back 25 years, Farscape was on Sci-Fi. Why isn't what's happening? We never got our promised 5th season of Farscape. We never found out if that astronaut made it back to Earth. I mean, did he do it with that cat alien lady? Or point is, 1999 was a beautiful time.
Yeah.
No smartphones, no social media.
Bad testing for autism and Farscape.
Studies show that there is no link between vaccines and autism, and yet it sounds like you are open to the possibility.
Yes, he's open to it. Oh, my God.
Getting rid of
25 years ago, you had very little autism. Now you have it. I mean,
well, they say because they're better at identifying it.
Stop the testing.
This is such a funny moment of Trump not knowing how to respond.
I've never seen dagger eyes as strong as the...
Those were...
Whoa. Yeah, she's like, you know what you need to say, right? Just say it, dummy.
I mean, something is going on. I don't know if it's vaccines. Maybe it's chlorine in the water, right?
Turns your hair green. What else does it do?
Fluoride, chlorine, maybe it's choline, maybe it's Maybelline. I don't think he's ever sat down without looking like he's sitting on a toilet.
Oh, yeah.
This is none of your business, but this is not who I voted for. But that doesn't mean that I'm saying it looks like he's taking a dump just to get a cheap shot, and I just happen to notice it.
You demand a higher production value.
They never give him a standing desk. I've noticed that.
Well, it's a choice that he's making. It's a posture choice.
Some people sit back. Others, they hunch forward as if they need to.
Yeah, I mean, they should roll in a little squatty potty for him.
You really want those knees elevated.
What we used to call in the Victorian era of Earth a gout stool. Don't ask how I know that. The point is, I'm finally free of that terrible planet, and I look forward to taking advantage of all of your life-extending technologies.
You have taken responsibility for overturning Roe v. Wade. Will you restrict the availability of abortion pills when you're in office?
And the answer is no.
You commit to that?
Well, I commit. I mean, do things change? I think they change.
Things change. The only permanence is impermanence.
Yeah, I didn't realize we were going to get a lesson in Taoism here.
The first Taoist president.
I hate to go on shows like Joe Biden. I'm not going to give my son a pardon. I don't like putting myself in a position like that. So
I don't like putting myself in a position where anything I say means anything. So
the whole interview was just, will you do this? Will you do that? Like, you're going to find out in 1 month.
And at this point, what does it even matter? Like,
yes.
If you catch him on an
Yeah.
unpopular position, who cares? You know, the nation did what it did.
Things change. Seasons turn.
For everything, there is a season turn.
A baby is born. A star goes supernova.
There is a time to sign a nationwide abortion ban, and then there's a time to not sign it. We're in a flux period where it is both signed and not signed at the same time.
We're in a chaotic era.
I, Donald Trump, certainly know what a Schrodinger's cat problem is, and here we are. This cat is alive and dead at the same time. It's amazing what they can do with cats these days. People should look into it.
It's a little thing called superposition.
I call it super duper position.
There are some people who say the cat is alive and dead at the same time. I don't know. I mean, stick your hand in there. That's one way to find out. You get scratched. You get cat scratch fever. I'm talking about my supporter, Ted Nugent. The point is, I won't commit to anything. And Joe Biden, really, when you think about it, Joe Biden is the end of every sentence. Next question.
President Biden is considering giving preemptive pardons to the likes of Liz Cheney, Adam Schiff.
For what they did,
Yeah.
honestly, they should go to jail.
So you think Liz Cheney should go to jail?
I just said that.
Kristen Welker's whole approach seems to be simply to mirror him and try to out-crazy-eye him somehow.
Anybody that voted in
Are
favor...
you going to direct your FBI director
No,
and your attorney general to send
Yes,
them
he
to
just did. That's what he did. That's what he did. Oh, okay. You're not directing him. Oh, okay, good. The only way that Kash Patel would do that is if he watches this interview. And what are the chances of that? Where's this going to air?
I have to say, Liz Cheney in jail would be an incredible reality show.
Love it or Liz it. Only on Bravo.
I think Pete Hegseth was an exceptional pick. You know, look, we've all had some indiscretions in our past and things like that.
Who among us? Who hasn't received letters from our mothers about our serial abuse of women? I mean,
I spent 9 years as Instagram's top erotic Mr. Freeze cosplayer, and I had to erase all of that. We've all done stuff like this. I love how whenever someone says, we've all had this thought or did this thing, it's like, no, it's not true.
Yeah.
It's not true. You're the one. You're the one who thought it. You're the one who said it.
Some indiscretions in our past and things like that. Every human has. But good grief.
Did he say good grief? Good grief, I say, and have always said since childhood when I went under a different name, Charles Brown. What if this is Charlie Brown grown up? That would be such a sad trajectory.
You pull the football one too many times.
Yeah, who do you think red-pilled Charlie Brown?
probably that trumpet speaking teacher. She was MAGA all the way.
Wah 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 Q. Wah 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 JFK Jr. Wah wah
I
wah.
was just going to say, unfortunately, Snoopy was executed by Kristi Noem. Let's move on. Let's just move on.
He was untrainable, that Snoopy, you know?
World War I veteran, no less.
Oh, my God.
When you're talking about drinking at 10 in the morning, that's a drinking problem. Now, it doesn't mean that there should be a stigma.
Then there's a lot of politicians that have a drinking problem, Jake.
I'm one of them.
He just self-interventioned himself.
I guess my question is,
Yeah, and then there's probably a lot of media that has a drinking problem too.
Jake, my point is we need more high-functioning alcoholics in positions of power.
Yes, he has a past. You know, Jake, you and I both have a past, and our listeners have a past too.
Jake, you and I have a past. That's the quote I want to focus on. What Thelma and Louise style adventures did these two get up to? One time at the Delta Sky Club, I got drunk at 10 a.m. and held the men's room hostage. And I remember seeing you there at the charcuterie bar using the cheese tongs for chorizo. So who's the real monster here, Jake?
My skeletons have skeletons, okay?
I legally changed my name to Mark Wayne, one word.
Couldn't choose.
That wouldn't have happened without any drinking in the morning, so you're welcome, Oklahoma.
Pete has faced, well, the predictable slew of allegations. You had a consensual relationship.
Consensual relationships typically don't involve rape kits, but go on.
It was fully investigated at the time, years ago, and I was completely clear.
Did I say me? I meant my wire transfer was cleared to the woman who received all of my money to shut her up.
Sean, you know what I look forward to? I look forward to the FBI background check.
Oh, do you? I'm turning into a wooden puppet as we speak.
It feels like he's drunk for the interview.
I've stopped drinking and I've started doing amphetamines. No one said anything about amphetamines.
This is what the left does, Sean. It's the anatomy of a smear.
What is that, his new metal band from the 90s?
I'm opening a bagel shop, Anatomy of a Schmear.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
I'm opening a pickle shop, Anatomy of a Spear.
Okay. What about a barber shop? Anatomy of a shear.
Oh, wow. We got a whole strip mall going.
Your turn.
Come on, Spornak.
Come up with one now.
Anatomy of a pier. It's a place where you sell boat piers.
I love it.
Doesn't have an S in the front. Doesn't count. What about anatomy of a person who got injured in a winter lodge accident? Anatomy of a skier.
Yeah.
Mine was better than that.
They take something and then they add anonymous sources.
Something like police reports and publicly available evidence.
And this is where I give so much credit to President Trump. He's got a backbone of steel.
He never let a little non-consensual sex stand in the way.
If he can endure what he's done, Sean, then I can stick up.
He's truly an inspiration to rapists everywhere.
And fight on for the American people and our war fighters.
For our war fighters? Do you mean our servicemen and women in uniform? Or are you drunk now?
Warfighters sounds like the Japanese translation of Band of Brothers. Band of Warfighters. Group of Warfighters.
Tom Hanks presents Luminous Warfighters.
You're disputing this sense that his prospects are brighter this week, or
what would you say is the wattage?
Oh, the wattage?
What's the luminosity here?
There are still Republicans who have expressed to me that they really dislike Hegseth, but whether they'll vote for him really depends on whether they show the backbone and spine and vote on principle.
Not going to happen.
Not on politics.
So he's a shoo-in.
I feel like if you're a Democrat who thinks Republicans are voting on principle, you have failed a cognitive test.
Do you know where you are?
This is a very basic truth to our politics now, which is that Republicans have publicly defamed principle as a concept.
If there's one thing the American voter responds to, it is the upkeep of norms.
I know, yeah.
Really passionate about that.
Oh, boy, do we love norms so much.
Folks, Dan Ball here from Real America. As you know, OAN.
Are you aware of One American News, John?
I have concepts of it.
Yes. Concepts of a network.
I am so glad to announce that coming this January 2025, we are bringing on a firebrand of a talk show host.
This is the same language that like the real news uses.
New York Times and Dan Ball from One American News.
Yeah,
both.
a provocative question asker.
Yeah.
May I announce Matt Gaetz.
Whoa.
What a reveal.
They're somehow both standing in front of the Capitol. Dark or light?
Oh, thanks so much, Dan. And I could not be more excited to join the One America News family.
Comments have been made about the face of this man. And I'm going to leave that alone for the moment because it's beneath me as a respected American humorist. But my eye is drawn to that head of hair.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Which has never looked more like the top half of a Ronald Reagan Halloween mask.
I see the Great Wave, that Japanese poster.
right.
The tsunami.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, I think his eyebrows are actually a graph of his future ratings. You know, it goes up and then plummets immediately down.
And we're sure this guy isn't a Dracula, right?
All shall be revealed.
That's why he's there at night in front of the Capitol.
Is he perched on top of a gargoyle Batman style?
He's actually flying.
Make sure to invite me into your home starting in January. Also, I'm not that guy on the former Twitter who talks about what politicians wear. I'm not an expert on menswear or whatever, but that black tie and that navy blue jacket.
That's a no-no.
No one should have picked that for him.
And he should apologize for that. If nothing else.
I've got the sources. I've got the insights.
I've got the Venmo receipts.
I don't have the job.
What this means is he couldn't get a job at Fox.
Oh, for sure. He couldn't get a job at Newsmax.
Yeah, this is 3 pegs down.
Is this higher or lower than Real America's Voice with Steve Bannon?
Oh, that's a good call. Because I
don't know.
I feel like OAN is actually lower than Rumble.
Yeah.
Like Charlie Kirk, Steve Bannon, like all those Real American Voice shows.
OAN is the real freaks.
It's really fucking low.
OAN is like you stay after when the circus closes and they're like, look, if you guys give me $20, I will show you some fucked up shit.
One of us. One of us.
The best analysis and the most in-depth coverage of the Trump administration is going to come from our team.
I really want to meet the team. I want to see who's like, I can't wait to work for Matt Gaetz. What a dream job.
I assume executive producer Nestor.
Oh, it's got to be.
I haven't heard Nestor's name in a long time.
What's been happening with Nestor?
Was that his adult adopted son or something? Wasn't that the cover story?
Indeed it was.
Dan's going to be a great partner. We're going to have a lot of collaborations together.
A lot of drug-fueled collaborations together. Yeah, this is the logo.
I didn't know that he was the secret 6th reservoir dog.
Seen here walking by a high school parking lot.
I think they cropped him out because they don't have the rights to the Getty image, and the watermark was like on the side.
Right there. It's like right beneath the Matt Gaetz logo.
There's no way they pay for a subscription.
And I would suggest if you're not in a place where you can access One America News on your normal television station,
like anywhere in America,
go get our One America News app. That's where you can watch my show.
Get our unverified third-party app. Just say open anyway when you get the thing that says this is not a trusted site.
If you're not in a place where you can access One America Network, I would suggest that when you wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and you see me floating outside your window, scratching on the glass,
download the app.
Open that sash and grant me access to your rest of your life.
If you don't have access to OAN, him saying how to get access on OAN.
Yeah, exactly.
On OAN.
Holy shit, that's hilarious.
Who is he speaking to?
I didn't even compute that.
All of you watching who can't watch OAN right now.
John, do you want to plug anything?
Yeah, let me do that. People of Earth, let me remind you, I am leaving you to explore the vastness of space, but you can always hear me and see me on the Judge John Hodgman podcast, wherever you get your podcasts, including here on YouTube at Judge John Hodgman Pod. Well, all of our episodes are now live on camera. And I will be returning to Earth briefly to tour with Judge John Hodgman. We'll be doing live shows in Vancouver, British Columbia, Seattle, Washington, Portland, Oregon, and San Francisco, California. Early in the new year, go to MaximumFun.org/events.
Oh, the real Cascadia tour coming up.
We're calling it the Real Cascadian Tour.
All right, you don't have to make fun of me.
We're going to be migrating like salmon throughout the Pacific Northwest.
Hey Humies, thanks for tuning in. If you like the show, help us invade your planet by subscribing to our YouTube channel or drop us a comment. We really love those. If you really like the show, subscribe to our Patreon where we share some bonus content. All right, okay, gotta go. Bye!